So what have I got in the Holy Mystery box today? Well, if we reach inside, we will find today that I have bought these. Maybe you've got a pair of them at home. It says on the front that they are a pair of stereo headphones. Of course, today not only can we buy headphones, but we can buy wireless headphones, and they all have the same job, and that is that we can plug them into our phone, or we can plug them into our tablet, or iPad, or wherever it is, and we can listen to whatever it is we want to. We can listen to music, or we can listen to all sorts of things. What sort of music do you like? What do you sort of like to listen to? And it's great because we can put these in, and it's like being in our own little world, isn't it? The people around us can't hear the kind of music that we're listening to, or maybe we're watching something on YouTube or whatever it is. We're the only ones that can hear it. We're the only ones that can know what's going into our ears. So a pair of headphones are a very useful thing to have. But the question we ask every week about the things that we buy, or that I buy from the Euro shop, is, can they teach us anything about God? And you know, each week there's usually something we find that it can teach us to learn something about God. And I was thinking about listening and hearing. And that reminds us of something that's really important in the Christian faith. And that is, if I put my hands together, does it give us a clue? That is prayer. Prayer is a really important part of the Christian faith. And there are prayers that we learn. Maybe you know the prayer, Our Father. It's a prayer that Jesus teaches. It's called a family prayer sometimes. And it helps us to pray to God. It helps us to worship God. It helps us to ask God for our food each day. It helps us to forgive people. And it helps us to ask God to be with us always. So that's one kind of prayer that we can pray. The Lord's Prayer. And maybe you pray it at night time, or maybe someone prays it with you. But prayer is more than that. Prayer, the Bible tells us, is like a conversation. Who's our best friend? Or who do we talk to each day? Well, that's what prayer is. Prayer is like talking to God. And we can pray anytime, any place, anywhere. The Bible tells us that we can pray about anything. That's a fantastic thing to know, that whatever is in our minds or in our hearts, we might say, we can talk to God all about that. And it also tells us that we can talk to God out loud. We can talk to God quietly. We can tell God anything about anything that's going on in our day and in our lives. And you know what? God will not tell anybody else. That's really fantastic, isn't it? But also, prayer is a time when we can be quiet and we can listen to God, because God sometimes can quietly speak to us. We talk about the Holy Spirit. Well, that's how God in spirit form can talk to us. So today, that's what I thought these headphones would be useful. We put them in our ears and they help us to sing. They help us to listen to whatever we're doing. And it's like a little private thing we have going on in our own world. Well, prayer is the same. It helps us to talk to God and to listen to God and to bring our lives before God. And we're going to sing a song now that we sing in church quite often. And it tells us that prayer is like a telephone. And what do? We're called to pick the telephone up and talk to God every day. So that's what we learn in our Euro sermon today. And we're going to sing the song together. Prayer is like a telephone.
Prayer is like a telephone for us to talk to Jesus. Prayer is like a telephone for us to talk to God. Prayer is like a telephone for us to talk to Jesus. Pick it up and use it every day. We can shout out loud, we can whisper softly, we can make no noise at all, but he'll always hear our call. Prayer is like a telephone for us to talk to Jesus. Prayer is like a telephone for us to talk to God. Prayer is like a telephone for us to talk to Jesus. Pick it shout out loud, we can whisper softly, we can make no noise at all, but he'll always hear our call. Prayer is like a telephone for us to talk to Jesus. Prayer is like a telephone for us to talk to God. Prayer is like a telephone for us to talk to Jesus. Pick it